All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Feeling and Healing podcast. This is Danielle Z, your host. I am here with Craig Sotkovsky. So I do want to butcher your slow. We were just talking about his name that it ends in SKY and not SKI, and he's Slovak, not Polish. And he is an author, a mentor. He was a first 9/11 first responder. So thank you for that, Craig. Cancer survivor, motivational speaker, father. He works with entrepreneurs to find their identity and purpose. So, welcome, Craig. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, I know as we were talking earlier, you work with entrepreneurs, and I feel like, and not even just entrepreneurs, just because even my client base, working in people in corporate, I feel like we're in this like point in time right now where like a lot of people come to me and like they feel like lost, like, and they just don't know who they are anymore, their purpose, their identity. So, what is your take on that? And how do you help people kind of refine themselves and rediscover themselves in their journey?
So I think we're all a little lost, right?
I would agree
Until we
there.
find ourselves.
I would have to agree there. We are all a little lost, but that's how we become found, Craig.
That's exactly it. And that's how we find ourselves. You,
Yes,
you have to give yourself like grace in this world. We beat ourselves up so
absolutely.
much, right? We're always kicking our ass about like, oh, if I don't have this like really nice car, what is so and so gonna say? Or, I have this house and oh, let me set up a party and people are gonna come over and how are they gonna look at my house? Who cares? Seriously. And it coming because what that does is it develops stress.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pressure.
people, yeah, well, yeah, we could say pressure because the stress, the anxiety, and all of that just leads to bad decisions, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like you're not being yourself. Like I was telling you about that guy, and me and him had the conversation, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
listened to the end of it, and it was like every other word was f this, f that, f this, f that, and, and it was like we connected, like you and I connected, right? Like we just have a flowing conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People don't want the connection anymore. People want
Mm.
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
When I
Yep.
was when I was growing up, we had the phone in our house with the
On a
long line.
wire. Yep.
Yeah, right? And
Yep.
it's like, and then we met our friends because we didn't
Yeah.
have this.
Yeah.
This is not our friend. This is our enemy. And the reason why I say that is because neurologically, okay, we're being programmed by blue light.
Mm.
People don't
Interesting. Tell me
realize
more. Yeah, tell me more.
people don't realize like we're programmed right now to where to escape reality, okay? Because this has become our reality.
Yes, yes,
To escape
unfortunately.
reality, all we have to do is shut it off and put it away. Pick up a book, start reading, start getting into things that really energetically uplift you instead
Yeah.
of energetically hold you down. I had this coach, Danny, and she used to tell me all the time, most people get confused about life because they're walking around with all of these jackets. Every
Mm.
problem has a jacket, right?
Mm.
So it's like we carry all of this weight on our shoulders through these jackets. We need to shed these like onions, right?
Yes, layers.
So everything is layers and we peel it back. And what happens when you're peeling onions? You start to cry. Society has lost their emotional connection to themselves.
Mm.
Because if I cry, I'm a guy, right? I'm 6'1",
Yeah,
two
yeah,
hundred and
yeah, yeah,
forty
yeah, yeah,
pounds,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So it's like if I cry, somebody's like, "Oh, you're emotionally weak." No, that's an emotion,
No,
right? That gives you the strength. And
absolutely.
this is where coming into like the United States with all different cultures and stuff, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
United States is the only country on the planet where everybody lives there. Meaning every culture on planet Earth
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a
has some
melting
kind of
pot.
representative in the United States, right?
Exactly. It's a melting pot. Yep.
It is
Absolutely.
the melting pot. However, there's disconnects between the kids and the parents now.
Mm.
Because if the parents come from a different culture, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm feeling it here in Mexico for myself.
Yeah. Really.
Right?
Okay.
I used to live down here for 7 years. My
Yeah.
ex-wife and my daughter raised it here. Right?
Oh,
I
really?
came
Oh,
back.
wow.
Yeah, I came back 10 years later to get surgeries and get my health back and all of this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not the place that
That it
I
was.
remembered,
Huh.
right?
Huh.
We're having this in the United States now where all these cultures are coming, right? Bringing cultural family values and everything like that. Yet the kids are growing up in the United States.
Interesting.
Two different cultures,
Yes, yes,
right?
definitely two different cultures for sure.
And what's happening now that I see is parents are throwing all of their failures on their children
Oh, yeah.
in the hopes that those failures are going to become the kids' successes.
So you're saying, like, for instance, I'm using it for example because I'm not a parent, and I'm always fascinated because they're like, I mean, I know it's over, I don't even know there's how to describe it. I can only imagine what the experience is like. But so you're basically saying, like, for instance, if the parent wanted to become a doctor and they didn't, they're like forcing their kid to go in like the medicine route and really become a doctor. That's what you're saying. That's the trend.
100%. 100%.
Interesting.
And there's
Interesting.
so many kids because I coach parents,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also I also help kids,
Mm-hmm.
but I listen to the kids,
Of course, yeah.
right? And well, you say of course, but that's not necessarily true because a lot of people look at kids and like, they're emotionally
Oh no,
disconnected.
kids are so receptive. They are
They have
observant.
this. You can't lie to kids anymore,
Well, yeah, yeah,
right?
but I
So
feel like
back in
yeah,
go ahead,
kids
I'm
are
sorry.
very receptive. No worries. I feel like kids are just very receptive. They pick up on things that you don't even I have a niece that is 1 years old, and when I tell you, like, I know she can't fully verbalize it, but what she observes and what she sees, I can see like the wheels turning in her little head, you know?
So how is she communicating with her parents? Are they teaching
Well,
her
she's
sign language a little?
Yeah, they actually are, and that's a big thing now. They do teach her sign language. She knows, like, thank you, and I think it's eat and was it more? I think I forgot. I'm using all the signs. Forgive me. I'm like I try to use them when I'm with her because they're teaching her that. But she said a couple words like dad, dad, mama, but I can just tell already that this child, I'm so happy, is going to have a lot of emotional intelligence. Because I think that's the key to, true connection, as you were talking about with people. Regardless of this, right? If you
Yeah.
have emotional intelligence, you can navigate this.
So it's the emotional intelligence of just in my experience, right? It's the emotional intelligence that we have to disconnect from the emotional attachment that we
Mm,
have to bad circumstances and events.
yes.
So it's all of this chaos outside here, right? That
Mhm.
emotionally disconnects us because we're not concentrating on this.
Yes.
This is the only real estate we could own. It's called the
Absolutely.
temple
This
for a reason.
controls a lot. We always think we're a product of our like nature versus nurture. I mean, being a therapist in training, we're taught about that. But I'm like, if you can get this right, everything else makes sense.
So that's what I help people do is tap into the quantum field, right?
Oh my
And
gosh, I would
people are
love
like,
to talk about this more because I will say I'm on my own journey and I have a friend, she's really into quantum physics and like, so explain to me in the audience, like just do a download because I'm so happy you just mentioned that because I would love to get to that point in my life to be to learn more about the quantum field.
so I had a 9 hour surgery to remove my mid and lower lobe of my right lung.
Okay.
And this was in 2017. And what happened was I was one of those people that woke up after the surgery. It was a 9 hour surgery.
Yeah.
And I guess my blood pressure bottomed out or whatever, but I woke up screaming going into the recovery room. And they cut all the nerves in my ribs.
Yeah.
So I had this neuropathy. I had it for 6 years, man. It was the most excruciating pain. And it
I'm
was
so
all the
sorry.
drugs they were giving me did nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like go back a little bit. I had a great experience of living in the bush of Jamaica, with no electricity and no water, with somebody that was savant.
Mm.
And and, and he taught me what the mind can do. It is an
Yes,
amazing battlefield. Okay.
it is.
And we have something in us called the reticular activating system. And all the reticular activating system, from here on, we'll call it RAS, right? All the
Rest.
RAS wants to do is please you. All it
Yes.
wants to do is, it's like a cyborg. It's literally just doing this. It's
Yeah, it
looking,
doesn't know, yeah, morals, values, or anything. It
none
just
of
knows
that.
I want pleasure. I want that. Yeah.
It knows your thoughts. It knows your linguistic programming, words and phrases that you use. Okay. However, that being said, all it wants to do is please you. So if you
Yeah.
have all these crappy thoughts of being emotionally insecure, self sabotaging mode, thinking you're not valued,
Mm-hmm.
your external world is going to mimic that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You are what you think about. You are your thoughts. You
100%.
are. That's why I say all the time to people, my clients, etc., be very careful with the words you use when you talk about yourself, even in a joking manner, because the universe does not know the difference.
No, it doesn't. It
Like,
doesn't.
so always think of yourself and always talk about yourself in a positive manner, in how you want to live and what's aligned with your core values and beliefs. Because I hate when, and I hate when I'm even gonna say it because I'm not even gonna put it out in the universe, but when people like put themselves down or like, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm like, who says you're not? You know?
See, and I have a hard time with that as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I tell people all the time, listen, I'm just a knucklehead from Jersey, right? And people are like, why do you talk about yourself like that? I'm like, I'm me mentally, I'm past that.
Yeah.
I'm just so
Yeah.
beyond that. And the reason why I say that is
Yeah.
getting to the point of what you asked me. I
Yes, you're
got into
trying to heal.
epigenetics because
Okay.
the drugs didn't work.
Okay.
Okay. I needed to recalibrate and shut this down.
Mm.
And then what I realized later on, I developed was this heart and brain coherence, and it's called epigenetics. So the
Epigenetic.
quantum field taps into epigenetics,
I love that.
right? So it's our mind, our body, and our spirit, soul, universe, God, whatever it is that you want
Yeah.
to energetically relate to.
Align
And
and
yeah, and I had this one incident where it was like it was just never ending. It was never ending, like surgeries and
Mhm.
procedures and misdiagnoses and it was just like too much mentally.
Yeah, yeah.
So I started getting involved, sitting in my living room for hours on end, meditating, listening to tones, listening to Joe Dispenza, listening to Jose Silva,
I
listening to Keurig Ashley, like old school Earl Nightingale, but for hours on end, because I
mhm.
needed to shut everything down. What I didn't realize at the time was I was developing a different biochemistry
Your in your
inside of
epigenetic.
myself, right? So tapping into the epigenetics part. So I had this one incident happen to me when I went to the doctors for this 9/11 visit or whatever, and they took the X-rays, and I walked into, and I've been studying this probably at that time maybe like 2 years,
Yeah.
and I walked into her exam room, and she had this look on, and she was like, "Have you ever had a bad X-ray?"
Mhm.
And immediately I could feel like it was coming on to like, oh, here we go, right?
Yeah,
And then
like
I
bad
just
news.
stopped. Then I just stopped and I was like, whatever she's going to tell me isn't going to change my smile on my face.
No. Yeah.
Come to find out, she didn't even have my information. She saw
Oh,
the X-ray. She saw the
okay.
X-ray, and she saw like this big thing. Well, that big thing was the gaping hole where they took my mid and
Where
lower
you
lobe,
took
of my
your
right
the
lung
middle of
out.
yourself out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. From
Wow.
that point, that was the deciding point to like, wow, this is amazing. Then I
That
had to keep
was
going.
your turning point.
That was definitely the deciding point, because you want, when you start having these feel good um, chemicals going through your body, because most of us, we're addicted to like adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
And we're not
Dopamine.
addicted, all the stuff that changes our biochemistry in a bad way. It jacks us up, right?
Yes. Yes.
Instead of being calm.
Mm.
So you tap into the serotonin,
Yes.
oxytocin.
Yes.
That requires work, my friends.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, I was actually just talking to another coach this morning about that and your inner work and like I feel like unfortunately, and I know you grew up in obviously, or you from New Jersey, now you're in Mexico, but I'm sure it's similar. Like I hate that we live in an environment or in a society that it's like we just want a pill to make something go away. Like I'm all about like obviously
This
modern
is the
medicine.
pill. This
Yeah,
is the
we
pill.
are. We are the vessel. We have
Yeah.
all the tools that we need. You just have to sit down and I've discovered that in my own inner work that you need to do the work on yourself. Like I say to my clients all the time, I say it to myself, like if you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect a return back. And
I have a buddy of mine that has a poster, right?
mm-hmm,
And it's black, red, and white, and it
mm-hmm.
says, "I invest in me,"
Yep.
and it's just like, whoa, yes, that's
Yeah.
it. Because most people would rather die than change.
Oh boy. Well, you just hit a as a coach and as you know, like change is hard.
But change is the only thing that's constant.
Oh, I
Yet
absolutely,
we're kicking and
literally,
screaming.
yeah, every day of every second of our lives is different. If you break it down like that, like every single second of our time on this physical earth is different. So we are constantly adapting to change.
Constantly adapting to change. However, every time we think, we're thinking about the past.
Mm, yeah.
Every time.
Mm,
Because whatever I just bring up from 2 minutes ago, that's the past.
you're right. Yeah.
Right? But if I have a recall of something that happened 20 years ago, my mind does not know the difference between if it just
2 minutes
happened now
or 20 years. Yeah.
or 20 years. However, it'll figure it out once the biochemistry changes.
Mm,
So if you
yeah.
have the emotional attachment to that catastrophic event, that
Mm,
heinous crime, that
yeah.
that just ridiculousness that humans go through, it's going to stop you dead in your tracks.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I would define as like a trigger. You know, if you still have that emotional attachment, that's like why you have triggers and it maybe potentially activates a wound that you still need to heal in yourself
You need to activate that wound. You need to
in order to
peel the
know it's there.
band-aid off,
Yep.
right?
To really heal it.
Look at it. Look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Examine it. Feel it. Feel that adrenaline. Get it going and sit in that time in your temple, right? Only real estate
Ooh,
we
I
could
love
own.
that. Time in your
So
temple. I love
so
that.
we have to sit in that ridiculousness. So it never allows us. We're always going to think about it, but it's the
Mm,
emotional attachment to it. Like I could talk, you could ask me any question about my life. There's nothing taboo. Nothing.
mm.
Because I've beaten myself. I
Yeah,
had to yeah,
you've gotten to that level. Yeah, yeah.
and I'm learning every day. I'm
Oh,
learning how
absolutely.
joyous I am. I'm learning how at peace I am. I'm learning
That's
that
amazing. So happy
that
for you.
my voice is all over the world. Like
It is.
literally all over the
Oh
world.
yeah, no, yeah, you're on a lot of podcasts. Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like I sit here sometimes and I call this place the lab, right? And
Okay.
it's 400 square feet. It's in Merida, Mexico. I got a beautiful backyard, built-in swimming pool.
Yeah.
But this is 400 square feet. It's packed with crap. Okay, my walls are nothing but notes and just like
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I can
that's
kind of
it.
see on a little bit of your post-it notes on the
But
side of there. Yeah.
right, my whole place
Oh,
looks like
oh, there. Wow,
this.
look at that. Yeah, yeah.
Right, look at this.
Oh my God.
But this is my lab. This is my
That's
like
your think
this is
tank.
it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. This is my think tank. I stay here sometimes, right? 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And then all I do is walk out into the backyard. I have everything here, everything
Yeah.
I need, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That's
when I want
awesome.
to go, and then when I want to go for a walk, I like to walk, man.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's my thing. Might not
Yeah.
be everybody else's
And you
thing,
have to
right?
figure out, I think like that's the thing too. Like you have to figure out what your thing is, right? Like for instance, like my thing, and everybody like makes fun of me for this. I like to read and like because I think maybe it's my academic, but I will say everything I read, I'm not one of those people as much as like I appreciate people that like to read like fiction. For some crazy reason, my brain like with fiction. does not register. So everything I read needs to be either like a biography, educational, historical, and also to be based off of my field and what I love. Like just a lot of self-help, mental. Like you mentioned Joe Dispenza. He is one of his books are amazing. I love him. His story is amazing. I want to be at that level, you know? But
But
that's
you
like,
already are. But
oh,
you
thank
already
you.
are.
Yeah.
No, and this is something that people have a hard grasp with.
Yeah.
You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Craig. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I feel like for me personally, and I'm sure you too, like I always want to learn and I always want to grow. And I always like for me, like I always use the metaphor of like a mountain, right? Like I will always be trying to be the best version of Danielle. Yeah, sometimes I'll climb that mountain. Like sometimes, yes, I'll sit at where I'm at and be like, wow, it's really nice here. But like I will always be climbing and until I'm in like until I'm dead change, but not everybody wants to grow because also, I think my hold on a second, my also growth is painful. It's not always pleasant.
No, it's supposed to be painful. That's why it's growth,
Well, yeah.
right?
I love
And
that you said that because a lot of people I love that that was your reaction to it because when I work with people or people when they're trying to grow, they're like, but it hurts. And I'm like, yeah, like growing. My one friend says it perfectly. They don't call them growing pleasures, they call them growing pains.
yes, exactly. It's funny. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Who do you think you piss off the most?"
Oh
Meaning
God.
me,
You,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's easy. My clients." And they're like
Why?
that.
'Cause
That's
you
like
challenge them.
that's some crappy marketing. I was like, nah, man, nah, because I go right for the throat. Because I had a buddy of mine. He's one of the best peak performance coaches on the planet. He was telling me, he's like, when people contact me, they're like, oh, and we could do this and we could do that. He's like, no, this is a fucking dictatorship, man.
Yeah.
You're reaching out to me, right?
Oh
To
wow.
learn
Yeah.
something new. So it's like, no, I'm not falling into I want to please you. No, I want to help you, right?
Yeah.
And I want to help you to a point that you understand yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Most people don't understand themselves.
Oh, 100%, Craig. I feel like, and I think it's such a disservice to society and just life. Like, I say this all the time, and it breaks my heart. And that's why I got into the work that I'm doing. Is I would say probably a good 90%, maybe even more of the human population while they're here on this physical earth having this human experience won't ever meet their core selves because they're too
No.
afraid, it's too painful, it's whatever, fill in the blank. And that to me is so sad that like you could live your whole life on this physical earth and not know who you are.
Yeah.
Like it's so
They're
sad to
embarrassed.
me.
They're embarrassed because they might have we all have these disempowering stories, right?
Mhm.
We've all done great things, okay? However, we've also done bad things.
Of course,
And our
everybody
and
makes
our
mistakes.
Of course, but our minds are programmed for the bad. Like
Yes, we're programmed
pre-programmed
to go
as
to the
humans.
negative first. Absolutely.
Sure, because that's a survival mechanism. That makes us
Absolutely.
feel safe, right?
Yeah,
That
we're
we're not
we're
we're not
wired for yeah, we're wired for to just survive. Like our bodies and our brains were not designed to thrive and they don't know that like that's where our nervous systems too.
but our bodies were designed to thrive.
Hmm.
We just need to activate that frequency. We have everything within us, right?
You're right. It's all within you.
So
Absolutely.
so what are we as humans? We're survival mechanisms, right? So we're pre-wired to survive. However, we have that thrive button inside of us.
We do. We all have it. Yep. We just need to somebody to press it.
Just yeah, I press a lot of buttons, man. I'm sure you do too. You know, I was doing trauma coaching while I was going through cancer, and it's like I helped a lot of traffic victims, and I
Hmm.
had to stop because it was destroying my soul.
It really.
But then I picked it up in a different way because it was actually soothing my soul
Hmm.
because I was helping people,
Yes.
and I
Being
needed
a
to
servant.
sit in that. I needed to sit in that. And I needed to learn how to like energetically let that go right past me. I can't get caught up in the emotional attachment to somebody's story
Yes. I think you
because
bring up
that
a
drains
great
my battery.
I think that's you great. I think you bring up a good thing, and I, as a coach, therapist, etc., try to also learn the difference between there is a difference between attachment and like connection, and it's very hard. You have to go through a lot of trial and error to figure out the two. And in your relationship specifically, like an attachment doesn't have to be very deep. It can be surface level, but a true genuine connection, in my opinion, has to be a little deeper, runs, maybe in your core value system. But like a lot of times we, like, as you said, like we have these chemicals in us that, like, for instance, dopamine. Like, I know dopamine, all it wants is more. That's all it wants. It doesn't
Keep the
matter how you,
floodgate going.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter how you get it, who you get it from, or what you get it with. Like, it just wants more, 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 more. And you could ignore your belief system, your ethics, your morals by if you have like that strong of a dopamine like hit and
Sure.
stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just very interesting. We are very complex. I'm learning as I'm doing on my own journey of growth. Like, I learn every day of like how beautifully complex we are. And I think that's amazing that we have all of these things, but it's being aware of them. I think that, like, like as you said, like, it's all within you.
Everything.
It's
Your
all,
beauty, your beauty, your hatred, your animosity, your it's all in us.
yeah.
And when we take the time to like our bodies are a complex machine, yet it's
Yeah.
very simple. Very
Oh, I know.
simple. It's
Yeah.
just not easy.
Yeah,
Just not
right?
easy.
It's like an
It's hard.
oxymoron.
It is because it's hard facing yourself.
It is. It is.
And
And
I
I
had to do that. I had to do that for
I
myself.
have I have done that too. And I will say too, like, and I don't wish this upon anybody. I would love your perspective on this too, because you've had like a lot of walks of life. Obviously you were a 9/11 first responder, you're a cancer survivor, you're a father, you're like, you know what I mean? But I feel like those moments in my life, and I've dealt with my own health issues, my own mental health, physical health, grief, loss, like I'm sure you have. I mean, and that's universal. I feel like that the moments that like I was in the most pain and also sometimes my darkest moments were actually like like they were almost rock bottom, but they were the most they were gifts really because they forced me to change or they forced me to grow. And while yes, they weren't enjoyable going through them, I wouldn't be the person I am today talking to you if it wasn't for those things.
Yeah, 100%. I was always in this woe's me environment,
Mm.
and until I realized it's like because it's like why am I going through this, man? Like what?
Yeah,
Like
like
every
victim
time I turn
mentality.
around, yeah, every time I turn around, it's another surgery, it's another procedure, it's another doctor, and I'm just getting worn down. And I'm looking at my kid as she's growing up. She knows me just sick, right?
Oh,
Then
yeah.
I'm looking at my at the time my wife, and I'm just like she used to come in and check on me to make sure I was still breathing, and I was like, what am I doing, man? Like it brought me down so bad
Mm.
that now I look at it and I was like, yeah, because I needed to sit in that, man. I needed to mentally sit in it because we all have mental health issues, every
Of
one of
course.
us,
Oh, honestly,
because we
I
think.
say well, yeah, I say if you don't have like, I mean, like, I don't like to diagnose people, like, but like, of course, like anxiety and depression and bipolar, just like, I don't like to diagnose, but I say if you don't have some sort of like mental thing going on in society today, then you're not in society because everybody has something going on. You know what I mean? Like, we
Everybody
all,
does. It's not a.
yeah,
It for me. It's not about diagnosing. I've passed on
yeah.
many people because I was just like, like,
There's no help. You can't help you. So what? Yeah,
I
actually,
can't at my I can't at my level can't help you because when you're talking to somebody and they're just and they're like, I'm like, hello,
is
hello.
anybody there? Anybody here? Anybody here? Yeah.
You don't know what kind of meds they're on. You don't know what's going through their head. You don't know. Okay, I know what my skill level is. I
Hmm.
got a buddy of mine that People walk in, have Tourette's, and a couple hours later, it's gone
That's
forever. It's a
really,
different. It's a different. Yeah, it's a different level up.
yeah,
Everybody's here. Like my thing is, you're in trauma right now. I can give you some tools to where you'll still see the trauma. You'll still see the accident, but you ain't going to be stuck in the car.
yeah.
And that's where
I love that
and that
metaphor.
and that's where people are stuck. They think they're the only ones that are going through something. We're all going through something right now. As you're
Oh,
listening to my
absolutely.
voice and as you're seeing my
Oh,
face, we're all going through something. We're getting
oh,
into a
absolutely. Like we're
problem,
all
out of a
human.
problem, or we see one in front of us.
Yeah. We're just always problem solving. But I think like I love that you just kind of like normalize like and that's what I tell people like every and like I'm gonna bring this to a thing of a belief of mine. Like everybody is going through something. So like when you could be anything in this world, like just be kind, be compassionate, like try your best to like just like kind of golden rule stuff. Because I feel like, this, as we were just talking about, hiding behind this is very easy and you can hide behind this a lot, but when you are face to face with somebody, that's when you see the true colors of people.
Well, I always say whenever you meet somebody, you always meet their representative,
Ooh,
right? So like you're meeting somebody and oh my god, you're so beautiful, I love you so much, da, 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 da,
yeah.
da, da, da. Well, you love bombing, now you're developing codependency, and now you're doing all of this stuff, and it's like, and you could see the patterns. I could
Oh
see the
yeah.
patterns in the people that I coach and help and mentor. I could see the patterns because those were my patterns. We all
Really?
have the
Yeah,
same kind of
yeah, well
habitual
like I feel
patterns.
like it takes one to know one, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
Sometimes.
exactly.
Like it
Exactly.
takes one to know one. And and you brought up a great point that I've learned in my 37, it took me 37 years, Craig, but I'm finally here. So I feel very proud of myself in this moment for that because I finally recognized don't follow people's words, follow their patterns, follow their behaviors, their actions. That will tell you who they are, not their
Exactly
words.
who they are.
You're like
Exactly who they are.
you can say you're blue till I can say till I'm blue in the face like I'm a sunflower and you can look at me and be like I don't think like you know what I mean, but like I could just say that, and that's what I've learned in my life. And you said, as you said, when you see patterns in people and patterns in behaviors, good and bad, that shows you their true character, their integrity, their persona, whether they're acting in a persona or they, as you said, like they're representative, or if they're acting from their core self.
Sure, because we are children in adult bodies, right?
Oh,
So
100%. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like whatever problems you've had as a child, right?
It's
I could
gonna
show you
show up.
the adult. I could show you the adult from 0 to 8 years old. The Jesuits used to say, "Show me the kid, and I'll show you the adult," because the patterns, the programming, right?
Is
Because
the
we're
Yep.
programmed. You ever hear about like kids in terrible twos?
Yes, the
There's
terrible
the
twos. Yes, the terrible twos.
terrible twos.
Yep.
Well, you know what? You know what the terrible twos are from?
What?
From
I don't
the kid from 0 to 2, right? Being told, don't do that, don't
don't
touch
go.
that,
Yeah, yep, yep, yep. And then
right? And then you're like, well, give me the cup. No, go to
they're
sleep.
trying to
No,
they're building their own, yeah, their own
they're
system and their
building their
own
own narrative, right?
yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
oh, you
yeah.
just got done telling me all this, and they don't know any different, but
Yeah.
yet they do.
Yeah.
But yet they do, right? Because all we're doing is recording. It's all we're
Mm,
doing is recording from 0 to 8 years old. Patterns, behaviors, habits, like all of these things, we're just absorbing.
mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, what you were saying before, it's like we want people to be better. We want, just be nice for humanity. Well, here's the thing. And what I've realized is there's a lot of people that got shit kicked out of them mentally as a
Yeah.
child, right? And they can't even think on that level.
I know. Then that breaks my heart because I always say too, like hurt people, but also hurt people also heal themselves and then they do work like you and I do. Like I would be lying if I said I wasn't emotionally hurt at any point in my life. Like I don't think I shared this with you when we spoke the first time, but I'm adopted and adopted to like a lovely family, unconditionally loved my whole life. But just the fact I was adopted, I like that just instance in my life at birth, and I was in foster care for about 6 months in Korea before I came here. I that
Kamsamida.
whole yeah, yeah, that whole experience gives me, unfortunately, and I've done a lot of work on myself and held up the mirror to myself. I have an abandonment wound. And I'm not saying I'm a people collector, but when I go through loss of like whether it's by death, whether it's a loss of like a relationship, it hits me a little harder because I have a really, really deep abandonment wound from childhood.
Okay.
Yeah,
Turn that you can you no because that's just our story, right?
true, true.
It's a sad emotional story, right?
Yeah.
So so the way I would look at it is number one, you started it off. You have a beautiful family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah.
I just got goosebumps.
Oh yeah. No, I do. I have a beautiful family, and honestly, I was taught one of the best gifts of my life that my parents truly taught me. Like I think there's is true unconditional love. Like both me and my brother are adopted, not from the same family. We're like separate situations. We're not like a package deal. But yeah, we're and like
But
my
you are now.
yeah, yeah, we are now. Unfortunately for him, no just kidding. But uh um but yeah, so like they taught me like by just adopting me, and well, my whole entire extended family too. Nobody else in like none of my aunts or my uncles were like, "Oh, like why are you adopting kid?" Like my parents couldn't have kids naturally and they wanted to have a family, so they went the adoption route. And I think that people that adopt children and or just take even animals, people that adopt animals and rescue animals, I'm like you are teaching like you are giving an animal, a person, another being unconditional love, and like that to me was is a gift that like I don't think I'll ever get to repay my parents for because it was unconditional,
So
like
look
they're
at that joy. Look at that joy you have.
exactly. It really taught me. I'm so, and I will say I have like so I don't know. I know I haven't met your parents, don't know your parents. I'm sure you're a great dad. My parents are or my dad who's still alive. My mom unfortunately passed away, but my parents did a really good job with me. Like I learned a lot from them, and I try to instill the beliefs and the values that they have out in the world to make them proud.
But you have to make yourself proud too,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Like I will tell you, Craig, like I mean, my dad is I don't know, like is he's 65. He just turned 65. Like he's not retiring, but he's continuing to work. And he's a typical boomer guy, like company guy, like kind of like not really into feelings. Like I've kind of gotten him more in touch with like feelings given my field, but like entrepreneurship was never like his thing. Like he was always just like, yeah, and that's fine. But when I tell you like he supports me in my business so much, he supported my career change. Like, he was like, yeah, like he never told me no, like you don't have to do
He's
that
your
or I,
dad.
and as you
He's
said,
your
like
dad.
he never said like he never put his failures on me and said like, "Oh, well, I didn't become an entrepreneur, so now you do." Like he let me guide myself and let me form my own path. And also too, I will say, I'm sure your daughter will get there, and I know she's younger than me, but as I'm growing up, I'm learning everything my dad and my parents taught me. I'm like, "Oh shit, they were right." I'm like, they were right
Had
about
that conversation with her yesterday. I told her something about some situation that she was in, right? And she came back and she told me the story, and then she like realized she was like,
he's like
"You told me that," and you could see that like
yeah, like that
she's like,
resistance,
"You
like,
told
oh,
me
that
that."
your pride and your ego being like, yeah, my dad was right this whole time. Yep.
But okay, so it's pattern. She's 19. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
60.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
60 years old, right?
Yeah.
I've done so many crazy things in my life and ran into so many different situations. I should have been dead many times,
Oh,
right? Like I've been rich, poor, broke, busted, like everything you could
everything,
possibly
everything, yeah, in between.
everything to bring me to who I am now, to be able to speak all over the world, to be able to
That's amazing.
communicate with people in a way where it's like, no, from this point forward, live your life different. for
Yeah.
you. You
Yeah.
have to have a vested interest. This is what I was talking about before with the failures from the parents and stuff. They don't give the kids, they don't allow the kids to have a vested interest in their own lives.
Yeah. That's
So that's that pride, ego. That's just
Mhm.
that. Look at well, what is so and so going to say if my kid's not a doctor? Who
Yeah,
cares,
yeah,
man?
yeah,
Who
yeah.
cares? What if your kid's a janitor that's extremely happy, or a
Honestly,
garbage man, or a mailman, or somebody that owns a deli? Who cares? That's what
yeah,
they want to do. So I
exactly.
show my daughter the road, but I just never tell her what exits and on ramps and off ramps
Ooh.
and none of that. I'm just like here, and I
Here's
have
the
a
road.
great
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
relationship.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She
I love
calls
that
me.
metaphor.
She calls me for everything, right?
Oh,
She'll be
love
like,
that.
"Oh, and this happened, and that much, and maybe this is too much information, but like this and like that."
Yeah,
And I
no,
just
no,
sit there
yeah.
and I'm
You're
like,
like,
"I
I'm
want."
your dad. Yeah.
I
Tell
used to
me.
tell her when she was a real small kid, we're gonna have conversations that most dads and daughters are never gonna have. However, I grew up in the streets. I don't
Mm.
want you going to the streets for anything, man.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, no, no. And I think I love that honesty that you have with like I think I agree. Like it's like and I'm not a parent yet, nor like I mean I plan one day to have children and it's like you have to start that honest connection and that transparency very because like my parents always said that to me early on too. Like they were like especially with like high school, that's when like I started, like drinking and all that fun stuff and partying a little bit much. And they were like
Sure.
they told me like first thing they said to me, and my mom, I remember my mom vividly telling me this to me, and maybe, and this might have been a little harsh of her to say, but this was just who my mom was. She goes, Danielle, she's like, I don't care where you are, what you're doing, if you're drinking, whatever. She's like, if you need a ride somewhere, if you to
Yeah.
come home, we will always come get you. She was like, do not. She's like, I mean, do not. She's like, if you are impaired, do never. She's like, don't get behind the wheel of a car. Like, so like that to me has just she like, and they were right. Like they were always kind of the parents that picked us up from parties and like when other parents wouldn't and stuff like that. And not to be like they were the cool parents, but it made our relationship that much stronger and similar to you because I'm close, very close. Like I actually like it's so funny with my dad. Like I'm sure you're like this with your daughter. Like if I don't call him like I would say a minimum of like twice a day. Like that's like the minimum. Like he's like, is everything okay? Like he'll like text me. He will like, is everything? I'm like, yeah. Like I'm just busy today. Like but like we talk. Like I mean, it's like it's just and I love that. Like I think there's such a beautiful relationship you can have with a parent and a child. And unfortunately, these parents that are putting their failures on their children, I feel like that's a disservice to a beautiful relationship you could have with your
Could
child.
have. Most
Yeah.
people are concentrating on their business. Most people are concentrating on what society says that they have to become instead of who they're supposed to
Doing
be.
what's making you happy, and I'm with you. Your relationships, like everyone, like I'm sure you would agree here, but would love your thoughts. Like when we're all going, like when we go on this physical earth, like we're all now not going to the same place, but we're all just not going to be here anymore. So like anything material we can't bring with us. So what where do we leave like ourselves with? Legacy, like your identity, like of what people remember you as, but also like lastly, like the most important to me is like your relationships. Like if you built strong, like enriching, just really great connections in your life, like that to me is like the richness of my life. Like when I die, I'll be like, yeah, like I had great friendships, I had great relationships with my family, I had I just that to me means more than you could give me as much money. There's no dollar amount that you could give me that are, more important than my relationships.
Yet
And then
most
the one from
people,
myself being the first one.
okay, I could definitely agree with that. Most people don't understand what they are as far as being a commodity,
Mm.
right? So it's like, what would you do if somebody broke into your house, right?
Hmm.
Stole things that you loved
Mm.
and then left? What would you do?
I still think, I mean, I would call the police and report it. But
Okay.
that's my first reaction. But yeah, like I would have an emotional reaction to that. I would feel disrespected. I'd feel violated that somebody did that. But at the end of the day, to me, they're just things. Things can be replaced, people can't.
I'm so glad you said that, because here's my point. Most people take our thoughts away every day,
Oh yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
And it's like the only person you can call is yourself.
Yep.
Put yourself on the carpet, because why did you allow it? Then we start backtracking into issues that we all have, and then we have to decide, where we want to see our lives and how we want to feel about our lives and how emotionally attached we want to be to people. This is really deep stuff, right?
Yeah.
Humans are deep, complicated
We
creatures,
are.
yet very
We're
simple.
oceans. We're oceans. I always use the metaphor like we people are oceans. Like we are very well, some people I will say are like puddles, unfortunately, but that's their journey. Like like
God
like
calls them non-playable characters,
oh
NPCs.
really? That's what you say? That's what you call them? So I live by the beach, and I always say like I'm a beach girl. So like and I live on a beach block, and as you know, living in New Jersey, there's the beach in the bay, and I'm like, if you ain't a beach, like if you're a bay, like nah, like I can't talk like you need to be a beach, like be a beach person, please, be an ocean person, because if you're part of the bay, ugh, like I don't want anything, I don't want anything.
Oh, we're looking down on the Bay people.
Yeah. Well, not physically, like where they live. I mean, like, in your soul, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
The
no,
metaphor.
absolutely. And I think it's funny because I'm a Bay guy.
Oh, you're a
And the
big
reason and the reason why I say that, yeah, because it was programmed early on. We used to go crabbing at Seaside
yeah.
Pier,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, everybody used to get in the station wagon and drive down there. And I find that metaphor really funny, because I am the Bay guy. Like
But
I
you
am
are you
like,
are you do have ocean energy. Let's just say
oh,
that.
absolutely. No,
Yeah, you have
absolutely.
ocean energy, but you like, yeah,
Think,
but that's part of your tradition and a fun family activity you did when you were
yeah,
younger.
yeah. But
Well,
it's made me like have a split personality about where my comfort zone is.
mm,
Because I'm very comfortable at a 5-star hotel, but I'm also very comfortable in a 400 square foot spot in Merida, Mexico.
I'm with you. I always say
I look at
people
this
like,
place. I look at this place as like, yeah, this
yeah.
is this is beautiful, man. This is where I'm at, and this is where I like, and this is what I'm doing, and all that, because I'm at peace with myself.
Well, that's
Doesn't
beautiful.
matter
You're at peace.
physically where I'm
Yeah,
at.
your environment doesn't matter. Like, of course, you don't want to be like in, like an uncomfortable environment for too long.
No,
But
I've
like,
been in
you,
those.
yeah, like right. But you can withstand it, and you know yourself, and that you're strong enough, and your core self is strong enough to withstand any storm. And I love the metaphor of like weather and light in our lives. Like you're gonna go through storms, but like if you have as you said, like a strong foundation
You
then
become the storm.
then yeah, like yeah. Well, yeah,
Then you
unfortunately.
become the storm.
Unfortunately, we do become storms. I've had
But
experiences in
that's a
my life.
good thing too, though. That's a good thing, because what happens after storms? All the
Clearly,
crap goes away, right? And the new
sunny
stuff starts to
skies.
grow.
Yep.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Sun
Yeah.
always comes out after the clouds go away.
Exactly. I mean, I always say, I mean, I know I don't weren't sure if you lived in New Jersey when Hurricane Sandy happened, but if you were
No,
in
I
Jersey.
got out of Jersey. I got out of Jersey in the 1990s.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were, yeah, so that was what two that was like 10, that was like almost 15. Yeah, so you weren't here for that. But I always say like your storms in your life and also weather storms, right? Like that's your opportunity to rebuild, come back stronger. Like that will show you who you are, what you're made of, because like it's not about, you talked about parenting failures. It's not about your failures. It's about how you get up after that. And I will say, I'm sure
Always.
you know too, as an entrepreneur, like they've said this to me too, like you're an entrepreneur when you failed. Welcome to the, it's like welcome to the club. Like, because
Yeah, you have to fail multiple
yeah,
times.
and entrepreneurs, we're not afraid of failure. We just get up. We don't think of it, I don't think of it as failure. I just think of it as like a learning experience. Like, yeah, like, all right, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Cool. How pivot, move on to the next. You know what I mean? Like it's very we don't sit in it and be like, "Oh, I failed." No, it's not failure. It's just you need to try again. Like, you need to go out and do more. Go out and try it differently. Take a different approach. It's us entrepreneurs have a different view, I think, on failure than the general public do.
Sure, because we're risk takers.
Yes, we do. We follow
Right.
our
So you have
dreams.
to so you have to program yourself to what risk are you willing to take? I've lost all my stuff multiple times in my life.
So you know
like
what it feels
multiple
like.
times.
Yeah, you know what it feels like to
Sell
have.
everything, be homeless, no electricity, no water, living in like worst places in the world. But that's where I'm like, I have lights, man. I have air conditioning, I have internet,
Yeah, you're
I have
good.
my
If
walls.
you have
My
Wi-Fi,
wall.
you're good in these day and age. If you have Wi-Fi, you're good. You
Right? I
know,
think about that. I talk all over the world. I don't even have to leave my living room. This is
that's
wild
amazing.
to me.
I
This is
know, right?
really, it is amazing experience that I'm having right now. And I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to do it. And
And here you are.
I think cancer, like entrepreneurship, helped me deal with cancer.
Mm.
And beating cancer has made me a
Oh,
better entrepreneur.
yeah. I think that will just make you a better at like that your journey there too. Beating. Yeah, that will make you a better everything. You know, and I
I was
commend you.
told, thank you. I was told 4 different times that they were going to possibly treat me for cancer, 4 different times. And I don't know if I told you this, but I had my 15th knee surgery in September of last year, September of 2024. And in November, my leg wasn't healing. It
Mhm.
just wasn't healing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I went
yeah.
back to the surgeon, and he's like, "Look, man, I really think you have synovial sarcoma." That was the fourth time that they were telling me that I possibly was going to be treated for cancer again.
Mm.
5 minutes later, he addressed me, and he's like, "You're the first person in my history of being a doctor, right, that I gave that diagnosis to, and you laughed at me." And I was like, "Because of course I have cancer. Are you kidding me?"
You're
Yeah,
like, duh. You know.
yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, yeah. And he was just like, I've never seen that before. And I was like, well, how about this? They told me twice before that I was going to be treated for male breast cancer. Okay.
Wow.
And that's because it's big in the 9/11 community. And I was like, of
Mhm.
course I'm going to be treated for male breast
Yeah.
cancer. And my lawyer, who passed away last year, God rest his soul, he used to be
Oh.
like, oh, one day you'll get a real manly cancer. And then this
Yeah, like the next one's gonna be testicular cancer. Like,
like a
like
real man cancer. I mean, come on with the male breast cancer. Are you kidding me? Oh man,
that's hysterical. Oh my
you
God.
have to have a sense of humor about
You
this, even
do.
in your darkest times,
You
man.
do.
In your
I will
darkest
say,
times.
laughter, I've learned in my life too. It's cliche, but laughter truly is the best medicine. Like I think the other
Yeah.
day I was just like very stressed and I was just like actually like I unfortunately used this to dissociate and I went on like Instagram and I saw something funny and I started laughing and then all of a sudden my like mood shift. I was like, "Yep, I just needed to laugh."
How about this? I got a buddy of mine. He used to tell me all the time, when you are anxious, depressed, sad, whatever,
Yeah.
skip, skip.
Skip. Yeah.
Huh? You can't be anxious, depressed, or sad when you're skipping. And
I
I
love
used
it.
to I used to take this literal. I used to skip in the mall, and my daughter used to look at
I
me
can
and
only
she
imagine
used to
you
be
like
like,
skipping in the mall.
61240, and I'm skipping, and she'd be like, "What are you
What are you
doing?
doing?
Come on, skip with me. Let's go."
Oh my God, I love
I
it.
don't care. I don't care what somebody honestly is going to say about me. Like, I legit don't,
Good,
because I
good. That's
know
amazing.
people are not paying attention to me anyway. Right? And this is one of the reasons why I express myself to people in a way that it's like, look, do whatever it is that you want. Nobody's paying attention anyway. As much as you think that people are like, oh my God, what does Danielle do? Nobody cares. And
Yeah, people.
I don't mean that in a callous way,
No, no,
because they got their own stuff.
I know exactly what you mean. Trust me, I know you don't mean it in a callous way.
They
Yeah,
they they
everybody.
have their own shit that they're dealing with. And they're glad you have your problems
Yeah, but
because they have theirs.
I will say though too, like, but people like us, like, I have a different level. Like, I will say, like, I genuinely do care about people. Like, I have a deep compassion and empathy towards other human beings and helping them.
Humans,
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 humans.
individuals are somebody different. Those are different energy fields.
True, true. That
Because
is a
I'm
good.
sure I'm sure you've run into people where you just like, well, like, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you
Um,
go for it.
so this is the part. It's like, out of there's what is the 8 billion people on this rock now, right?
Yeah.
Some
I think
something
a
along
little
that.
over, yeah, like 8 billion. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So so think about this logically. Um, so we're walking around this earth, and then all of a sudden you walk up to somebody, and all of a sudden they become your friend, your lover, your spouse, whatever. One person,
I know.
energetically connected, right?
Out of
And
8
then
billion people.
it's like, this is my human. I want to do fun things with this person.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I know. But Craig, this has been such an amazing conversation. We went so many places. That's why I love having my podcast guests like you because we can go so many places. But how can people find you? I know you have your website, craigsotkovsky.com, and
Yes.
also what you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, right? YouTube.
Everything is Craig Sotkovsky. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So everybody check out Craig, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And as always, you can find the Feeling and Healing podcast on YouTube as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify.